what kind of impact did he have on your life, Caleb?
I mean, you got to think. My dad had the Celtics Lakers rivalry, right? Like he had the Bird Magic, and for me, it was Pierce versus Kobe, right? I mean, very one player significantly better, but it was a rivalry, and I got to experience my own chapter of that rivalry. So to me, like my childhood was literally Lakers Celtics rivalry, and like being able to see Kobe go at Pierce and them, and like I remember as a little kid, I'm like, Kobe ain't shit. Like the Celtics are still gonna beat him, but like that was my childhood. Like he was a big part of my upbringing as a basketball fan because like that was the main rivalry for me. Was like after 2010, I was like, I really want to get back to the finals and beat the Lakers again. Like you don't even think like I didn't even think about LeBron at that time. Like he went to Miami, like, okay, cool. Like I still thought the Celtics were better. I was a young kid, and it's like I want to be able to see Kobe again in the finals. And like we got two renditions of that rivalry from my childhood. And like being able to see Kobe and just the gravity of him on the court. Like as a little kid, I was fearful of Kobe. Like when he caught the ball, I was like, God damn it. And it's like a funny thing. I was talking about that book that I read. I mentioned it a couple times on here. And in that book, it even says in the 2008 finals, in game 6, when it went back to Boston, it was the first quarter. Kobe hit a contested three and then like a mid-range fadeaway. And then he looked right at a fan in Boston's crowd while Garnett was at the free throw line and he said, "Not today," to that fan, and that fan just shook his head. And Kobe went down on the other end and pulled up for a deep three, and it was like nothing but net. Then he looked directly at that fan again. And it's like you see that shit on TV, and it's like, you know what I mean? You feel fearful. You're like, damn, like Kobe's really gonna end this shit. Like I want a Celtics championship so bad. Like just growing up, like that was my like I got to witness a big part of that. And I'll always be grateful that I got to witness a chapter of Kobe's career basically. And you know what? It was fun. It was an enjoyable time in my life.
I agree. I mean, I had a lot of the same. I was obviously a lot younger for the '02 Kings and Kobe rivalry. But I remember when I was a kid, and I talked about this with Drew on their podcast when I went on a few months ago. I would watch all their games every single year. The Kings would play the Lakers on Christmas, and my uncle would VCR the games for me, and I would watch those games over and over and over again. And just being able to see Kobe's impact, it was insane. Like the stuff that he did. I remember when I was younger, there was a game on New Year's Day where the Kings were beating the Lakers. It was in LA, and I'm sure you've seen it. Kobe hits a corner three for the win, and I was so excited. And then Kobe breaks your heart once again, and I just went upstairs. I teared up, and I turned on my Xbox, and I was just mad, right? But it's like those are the moments that you look back on. And you're like, wow,
Mhm.
it's not about him making those shots, but it's just about the type of player he was. I ended up becoming a Kobe fan as I got older, and the year he tore his Achilles was so sad. Me and my dad were huge fans of him that year. The game against Toronto where he made three threes in a row in that fourth quarter, we were going crazy.